Cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter, and reduces your energy bill. They do windows. They're the experts. No subcontractors. For a free in-home estimate and a perfect fit, go to RBARapidCity.com. That's RBARapidCity.com. Renewal by Anderson, when only the best will do.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare South Dakota's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
In the NBA, the Denver Post just reported that superstar Nikola Jokic, as expected, will not sign a contract extension this offseason. Jokic can earn an additional $80 million by waiting to sign an extension with Denver in the 2026 offseason. In the WNBA, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark said today that she expects to return to action tomorrow against the expansion Golden State Valkyries after missing 5 games with a left groin injury. The quarterfinals in Wimbledon today, American Taylor Fritz advanced to the semifinals with a 4-set win over Russia's Karen Khachanov. Fritz going to face 2-seed Carlos Alcaraz in the semis. On the ladies' side, American Amanda Anisimova defeated Russia's Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova to advance to the semis for the first time in her career at Wimbledon. Also today, the National Hockey League and the NHL Players Association agreed to a new 4-year collective bargaining agreement through 2030. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, we're ready to go out of the gate on a Tuesday. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is back. Fox Sports Radio. We are live in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Thanks for being here. Great guest lineup tonight. We're really fortunate to have some great guests. We got some guys on tonight that are solid across the board, regionally, nationally, locally, local, regional, national sports. We'll try and get you covered tonight. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Say it with me, summertime in South Dakota. We got it going. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. The Nate Brown Show is back on, ready to go and get you on as well. Let's take a look at the guest lineup. And remember, you can stream our show right now on X. Find us at Nate Brown Show. Stream us live. Welcome in on the question of the day there. At Nate Brown Show on X and YouTube, streaming The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Let's look at that guest lineup. How about Josh Pate? Josh Pate's dropping by tonight. You know, we used to get Josh Pate quite a bit on this show over the years. Now he's big time. He is super time. And he's a great college football guy. If you've listened to his show, the Josh Pate College Football Show, he's on CBS Sports. Josh Pate is in tonight. A lot of college football questions, and how many wins does he have the Huskers at? You know, we did the Husker win total yesterday with Gary Sharp. Gary Sharp out of Omaha put the Huskers at 8 wins. How about the national perspective of Matt Rule and the Huskers? Josh Pate's on. Coming up, we'll kick the show off with him. Dom Izzo's going to drop by. North Dakota State play-by-play man, host of Hot Mic WDAY. Dom Izzo live from Fargo talking NDSU, Missouri Valley, SDSU USD. Where's Dom think the Yotes and Jacks are at? Dom Izzo, play-by-play man for the Bison on tonight. Zach Borg's going to join us live, sports broadcaster from Sioux Falls. Big news when it comes to Zach. He's done a good job covering Sioux Falls and East River sports. TV sports guys, it's a lot of work. It's a grinder. You got to shoot highlights. You got to get interviews. You got to edit the highlights. You got to anchor. It's a lot of work. Zach Borg just announcing today he is departing from Dakota News Now, and he's covered Sioux Falls sports for a long time. We'll talk to him about his career and what's next. Zach Borg on tonight, sports broadcaster from Sioux Falls, and it is a Tuesday with your favorite Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio, national host of Countdown here on Fox Sports Radio. Brian Noe in on the Nate Brown Show. Let's get you on if you want in. 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch studio hotline for you. Barron's Wilson text line ready to go. Listener text 605-720-1067. That's how you be a part of the program there. 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson listener text line. Okay, we were talking baseball yesterday. Okay, I'm going to start with baseball today. So we were talking baseball yesterday when it comes to popularity, and MLB.TV just had their most watched weekend of the in history. Most watched weekend of Major League Baseball.TV in history because they did a free weekend. So normally you got to pay a season pass and you got to try and watch your team and that thing. Major League Baseball 4th of July weekend said, let's do it free for the most part. I've still heard from some of you guys that said you were blacked out because you just can't watch the Twins or Rockies in any way if you're close in South Dakota. So they did the free weekend. MLB.TV had huge numbers, and overall, baseball seems like it's pretty popular. A lot of the narrative, I think, nationally would tell you, well, baseball, it's okay. It's not that big. It's okay. But it seems pretty popular. Growth on the streaming side, not just for the weekend. They're up like 32% on MLB.TV. But then they did the attendance at the 4th of July games, and that was the best attendance at the ballpark this past week since 2015. So they did 4th of July games attendance over the years, and the 4th of July games at Major League Baseball ballparks now, attending live, highest attendance since 2015. So my point in bringing this up today, baseball is taking some strides, getting back to being popular. It's not going to hit the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire days. I'm not here to tell you that. But it is getting more popular, and now guess what's next for baseball? This is coming out today. Forbes Major League Baseball writer Maury Brown. He's written on Major League Baseball a long time. Forbes Major League Baseball writer Maury Brown says that there could be a lockout. This has been thrown around the past, 5 months. There could be a lockout after next season. And so just when baseball's hitting the stride, here we come with the thing fans don't care about at all, arguing between owners and players, arguing between owners and owners. And the fans could care less. The fans just absolutely hate this stuff. So I don't know if baseball's going to screw this up or not. We got a year or so to see if baseball can work through some things, but there's some big issues at hand. And I'm starting the show with this today because I'm going to turn it into our question of the day tonight. Basically, they're saying there needs to be some big changes because the owners are wanting a salary cap in baseball. There have been massive contracts, huge contracts, and you know how this goes. The big markets can pay it. The smaller markets say we're poor, and then you have the teams competing against each other, and they're not on an even playing field. And the rich markets, the Cubs, the Yankees, the Dodgers say, we can spend whatever, the Mets, and everyone else has to try and compete. So owners argue with each other, and the owners of small markets are saying, well, we need to put in a salary situation here, a salary structure, not just have it go as we've been going. So the owners are actually going to argue with each other, And then they're going to argue with the players. So what Forbes Major League Baseball writer Maury Brown saying today, he went on some radio shows today and said there could be a lockout in 2027 because the CBA is going to expire after this next season. So the lockout could happen, but the point of the lockout would be you might have to miss an entire season, but you might end up getting a salary cap and a salary floor in the sport of Major League Baseball. Salary floor would be you have to pay the players a certain amount. There's got to be some guaranteed contracts in there. You can't just pay them whatever, because the players are going to argue in this CBA, at least according to Maury Brown, is if we get a salary cap, if the owners get their salary cap and it damages our superstar contracts, well, we got to have a salary floor for many of the players that are coming along in the league. There's got to be a certain benchmark that the owners have to pay when it comes to payroll. And so this is my point today. This is my point. This has been an argument people have made on the show. Does Major League Baseball have to have a salary cap? Do you have to do something with the salary structure to make the sport better? We love the NFL because it's parity, salary cap. Everybody's under the same structure, very competitive. Nobody knows who's going to win. That's the love of the NFL. You look at the baseball side, it is pretty simple to look. I know there's some teams that break through every now and then. It's pretty simple to look. The Dodgers are going to be there. The Mets are going to spend as much as they can. The Yankees are going to spend as much as they can. So there's teams that are going to do it. Does it always work out? No. But it works out quite a bit. And you just have to look at it and say, would you be willing to sacrifice a season? I'm talking to you baseball fans. It's July 8th. This is baseball frenzy now. We're into the home stretch. Would you be willing to sacrifice a season of baseball to get your salary cap structure? And then it would change the whole landscape for the Twins, for the Royals, whoever you want to say, some of the mid-market teams. It would change the landscape. Would the Twins be able to stay in the mix every year? Well, they've been in the mix as is for the most part. For the most part, the Twins have been fine. They haven't been on the bottom of the payroll. Even the lowly Rockies, they haven't been on the bottom of the payroll. They've just paid poorly. But if you bring a structure in, a salary cap in, does it bring baseball a lot of parity and not predetermined outcomes in divisions where you already know by June, July, it's over, here's the teams, forget it. So would you be willing to sacrifice a season? That's what I want to ask you, okay? Baseball fans, casual fans, whoever you may be. Question of the day. Maury Brown, Forbes Major League Baseball writer, says a lockout could be coming, but if it gets so serious that they miss an entire season, you might get one of the biggest changes to baseball in history, a salary cap finally in Major League Baseball. And would you be willing to do that? That's our question of the day. If you miss an entire season of baseball, 2027, would you trade it off for a salary cap coming back, and then you have an entire new situation when it comes to small, mid-market teams? You think that would allow them to compete on a regular basis, provide more parity? I see the benefits. I think that would work. Baseball's a little tricky. Sometimes you think the best teams aren't always the highest paid teams because you got to do your contracts right. But that's how every sport is. You make mistakes with NBA contracts all the time. They don't make as many mistakes in the NFL, but they make mistakes there, spending big dollars, part of the salary cap, and it messes you up for a long time, potentially. You get the wrong QB, you know how it goes. But this would allow baseball to enter some of the categories like the NFL, put them in a better situation. That's our question of the day, 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067 on the Nate Brown Show. Question of the day, would you sacrifice a baseball season 2027 if it got you a salary cap implemented in baseball? Do you want it that bad? 605-720-1067. Listener reaction. Let's go to this. It would be worth it to balance out Major League Baseball on the top, all while making the bottom feeder organizations actually spend money. So that's what I'm talking about. The reply saying it would be worth it. Now, I want to point out something. It's easy to say on a Tuesday, random Tuesday. Yeah, I'd be willing to do that. This is an entire season without the sport now. This is an entire season without the sport. You know how fragmented our sports is and our entertainment is anyway. You take an entire season out the door. That's what Maury Brown's saying from Forbes. You might have a whole lockout, but you might get a salary cap if you miss the whole season. Now people are going to get serious. Would you be willing to do it? Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think I would enjoy a salary cap with baseball. I'm totally a casual fan, and I'm a little bit more on the line of, some of the get your money while you can. A lot of the players, they may or may not get that big contract, but a lot of players are going to be making that big money. And honestly, in baseball, I don't feel that one player can completely change the whole dynamic of a team.
Okay.
So if you're going to dump all your money into like one player, I feel that's worse for the organization than anything. You're not spreading the money around.
I got you, no doubt. And some big contracts have not worked out, no doubt. All right, man, I appreciate you. Thanks for getting on. I would think the public, like he says, I don't want a salary cap. But here's the thing. Do you think a salary cap helps mid-market teams? And I keep referencing the Twins. Does a salary cap for the league help the Twins because they have the same payroll now as the Yankees? I sure think that would be helpful. You have to figure out how you do the contracts. It's like funneling money into one player. When you have to do that in the NFL, you have to pay huge dollars to the quarterback. Things can go south. But it's a better situation, right, for the sport to have a salary cap than no salary cap at all, in my opinion. I'm just a casual baseball fan like that last caller. And I don't have to worry about this. I'm a Chicago Cubs fan. The Cubs have so much money, it'll make your head spin. Huge market, huge brand. The Cubs can spend money. Did they decide to? Yeah, they kind of have now. Are they going to make some more moves? So you have to want to spend the money like the Mets owner. I mean, that guy's just spent so much money. It's crazy. So I would go for a salary cap. I can't hear today say, would it take me losing a season? That's what this writer is saying. It would get so serious that a lockout's coming, and you might have to miss an entire season for the players and owners to finally agree you got to have a salary cap in baseball. Would you be willing to do that? Listener text, yes, I'm for a salary cap. Listener text, I would not want a lockout. Even with the salary cap, the best-run teams will always find a way to separate themselves from the pack. Is that right? Is that right? Are you trying to tell me the Mets would be what they are without Steve Cohen's money? I'm not so sure. The Mets would be what they are now because they're funneling so much money into the Mets. They're just buying players. Juan Soto. I mean, they're just buying the best players money can buy. The Mets wouldn't necessarily be the best team and making a run in the NL East if they were on the same playing field as, I don't know, the Diamondbacks. Would they? I don't think so. But listener text, everyone loves the underdog storyline. When the low-paid teams beat up the high-paying team, it's good. I do like that. I do like that. And it sometimes happens, but I don't want to see the same teams every year. I don't want to see the same teams every year. And you've had some different teams break in, but you can pretty much mark it down. You know some of the highest paid teams are going to be making a run. Even the Yankees, they may not win the AL East, but they're right in the mix. Right? The Yankees are, the Yankees are going to be in the mix, right? Because they have money. They have huge TV contracts. They have all of these benefits. So a salary cap evens the playing field. I don't know if I'd want to lose an entire season. What do you say? 64% of you are voting tonight. Yes, I would sacrifice a season to get a salary cap structure. 64% would lose an entire season. Can you imagine from April into October, no baseball? No baseball. A lot of times people think when you take a whole season out, it just kills the sport. Even if Major League Baseball, I just told you, it's been growing. Popular. It's been growing on TV. It's been growing streaming. Attendance is good. Highest over 4th of July since 2015, 10 years. Then you take a whole season off because you got to get it right salary cap-wise, and the owners and players arguing. That's a tough one for me. 64% of you say I'd need a salary cap. I'd sacrifice the season. 36% say just keep it as it is. Listener text, hard cap would be ideal, but can they stuff the luxury tax genie back in the bottle? No, forfeiting a season is not worth it. 1994 was a horrific year without baseball. Yes, and remember, 1998 brought it back. So you had the strike, you had the mess. Sammy and Mark McGuire brought it back. Then you had the controversy after that. And now you have the fragmented sports culture we're in. You have 162 games. People are instant right now. They don't follow baseball like we used to. I don't think you want to miss a year, but I do want to get a salary cap through this next CBA. The problem is you might have to miss a year. That's what Maury Brown says today in Forbes Sports. Hey, let's go. College football, national guy. He's really good. He's going to join us next. Josh Pate from Josh Pate's College Football Show, CBS Sports. Pate's next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Santa came early. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July event is so great, even Santa's shocked to the savings. Get 20% off plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. That means no payments till 2027. Renewals Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Santa's not waiting till December to get new windows and doors. Neither should you. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Perfect collectible from your trip to the Black Hills? Then stop by the new Mr. Liquor 2 and check out their exclusive Landmark series of Edged Gentleman Jack whiskey. Choose from the Hill's most popular locations, including Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse, the 1880 Train, Devil's Tower, plus Pactola, Sheridan, and Angostura Lakes. Each bottle meticulously edged with our favorite Black Hills places and priced at only $39.99. The new Landmark series of Gentleman Jack whiskey, available only at the new Mr. Liquor 2, off Catron next to Walmart in Rapid City.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in across South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on a Tuesday. Glad you're here. Packed tonight. Dom Izzo is coming up. North Dakota State play-by-play man. We'll talk FCS, Missouri Valley. Dom Izzo live from Fargo. Brian Nosen tonight. Fox Sports Radio national host of the show Countdown on the weekends here on Fox Sports Radio. College football guy Josh Pate. Do you follow him? Man, I've been following his work. He's really, really grown. Really grown. It's Josh Pate's College Football Show. CBS Sports. YouTube. Find him on X at Josh Pate CFB. That's where you follow him. Josh, welcome back in. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a little while. We got media days happening for the Big 12. Got it next week for the SEC, week after for the Big 10. It's funny how you look at July as a fan versus how you look at July if you work in media. I look at it both ways, so I'm good. How you been?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you hopping on. You're doing great work. I've been following you. I want to start with Big 12 Media Days. So there's some headlines that I just want to get your reaction to it. Brett Yormark, commissioner of the Big 12, said today the college football playoff format, when they go to 16 teams, he wants 5 automatic bids. Okay, that would be the 5 conference champions, highly rated, and then 11 after that. So the College Football Playoff Committee would decide who are the next best 11. Does the Big 12 get how many in that scenario?
Probably, I don't know, 2.5 on average, I would say. So maybe 2, maybe 3. I guess, of course, it depends on the year. But, the bigger, I guess, focal point for me here has been and continues to be Brett Yormark's thinking on this strategically. So you've heard him, and if the listeners didn't listen to him today, he said it before. He said, we think the 5+11 model may not help us in the immediate future, but it's better in the long run for the Big 12 because of where we're going. Okay, now, 2 things. First off, ideologically, I disagree with him on what the best format is, but put my personal thoughts to the side for a second. It's very interesting that he keeps saying this, and to my knowledge, no one's really pushed him on what he means by it. I could be wrong, but I haven't heard anyone ask the follow-up, hey, what do you mean by where you're going? Because it could just be a general positive view of the conference. Hey, I've got faith in our future, blah, 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 which he should have. Or it could be that they have very, very strategic initiatives that they think in the midterm and long term are going to scale the viability of that conference. It could be that he has cards up his sleeve that the rest of us don't know about. And the reason I say that is because I hit some people up today on, what the structure of the format is going to be in terms of length. And the general thinking in the space is whatever format they sign for the next, expanded college football playoff, that's probably a 6-year deal that takes us from 2026 all the way through 2031. And the 2031 bubble, by the way, just for those unfamiliar, is when all these media rights deals come up. Yeah. All of them are on the table. And that's in pro sports and college sports. It's just, it's the thing that industry insiders are already looking towards like 5 years down the road. So I'm just interested in what their thinking is on this. And then I'm interested just from the SEC versus Big Ten perspective, do they ever get consensus enough? Or are we just going to sit here and kick the can down the road and have another year of the 12-team format? Because that December deadline's approaching pretty rapidly.
Yeah, you're talking about your preferred format. Do you think it's okay to go to 16? We may be going to 16. It feels like that. Do you think that's okay for the sport?
Well, no. It's okay in terms of it's not going to burn it down, but I don't think it's what's best for the sport. But, Nate, you know, because I had this conversation with you on this show, I didn't even like expansion to begin with. So I was of the opinion, and still am, that the regular season's what's best about college football, and I prioritize the regular season above and beyond the postseason. I don't say that about any other sport. I feel the exact opposite about pro sports. But college football is one of one for me. But if you're expanding, what I wish they'd do is I wish they'd go to 14 instead of 16. Because, I'm in the minority on this, or maybe I'm not, I don't know. But I happen to think Tony Petitti is onto something in the Big Ten. And I never, ever, ever liked the concept of automatic qualifiers in a previous life. But in the world where you're expanding to that many teams, to me, the only way to maintain maximum urgency on those November games across the country is to do that AQ format where, the Big Ten knows they're getting 4 in, the SEC knows they're getting 4 in, the Big 12 knows they're getting 2 in, but you have no clue which teams those are. And, Tony Petitti's grand vision is for that first Saturday in December to be 1 versus 2 in the conference title game, but 3 welcomes 6 into their home building, 4 welcomes 5 into their home building within the Big Ten. Of course, same thing's happening in the SEC. And I just think to myself, that means that those games are play-in games, except the conference title game. Like, those other 2 games are play-in games. And if you have the 16-team field, the formats I've seen have 3 at-large spots. The reason I like the 14-team model better is because there are no at-large spots. And to me, if you go the route of having play-in games at the conference level on that Saturday, the only way they're true play-in games is if you go home when you lose. If you lose, but you still grab an at-large spot, well, it defeats the whole purpose of having that. And at that point, to me, just have the 5+11 model. So I'm really interested because it sounds like there's a lot of infighting right now between the SEC and the Big Ten on what's palatable. And it sounds like they're really, really diametrically opposed on this right now.
Josh Pate on tonight. Josh Pate's College Football Show. Watch it. CBS Sports, YouTube. Find him on X at Josh Pate CFB. If you're not following him as a college football fan, I would do that. Hey, I just saw your show talking Nebraska. There's a lot of Husker fans here in South Dakota, season ticket holders and the like, alumni. Huskers need a nice year. I just had a guy on from Omaha who's been on this show a lot. He said 8 wins. You say 7. You got 7 and 5 for the Huskers. What do you? How do you break it down?
Well, so that was something I was kind of needling someone with. I actually think they'll be an 8 or 9 win team. I'm trying to build myself up to predict 9 and 3. I'm trying to find it. I haven't found it yet in terms of bravery, but we still got about a month before we need to make those predictions. Look, I think that. Obviously, everyone talked about year 3 with Matt Rule, but I don't think you can overstate that. That's a real thing because it's happened multiple places now. But I just happen to love the idea of what Dylan Raiola could look like in that Dana Holgorsen offense. The thing that concerns me the most is, losing Tony White at defensive coordinator is a big deal. And I don't expect him to fall off a cliff, but it does add a little more intrigue and mystery to that side of the ball. And, but having said that, their schedule sets up very well for them, and it's just the kind of thing where if they can get out of the gate hot and sort of prove it to themselves for, lack of other tangibles, I feel good about it. Like, I feel they can clip someone. If they can clip someone big, then that goes from us talking about the difference between 7, 8, and 9 wins versus talking about a fringe playoff team. So I won't go that far. But 8 or 9 wins, to me, is very, very much in the cards for them.
I want to ask you about a side note. Iowa always comes in around that 7.5 win total, Circus Sports. Iowa has a new quarterback, Mark Gronowski, from FCS level South Dakota State. What do you think Iowa can do?
Yeah, that one is one we talked about a little bit on the show as sort of a wild card because no one's talking about Gronowski. No one, I think until you get to Big Ten Media Days, most of the country won't even be aware that move happened. So it's twofold. Number one, just what kind of level of play does he bring? And then the other part is, it seemed like for a little while, no matter who gets plugged into that Iowa system, it's just the Iowa system. And so I really wonder, like, if you've got a good talent there, and you guys know him because you've watched him, but most of the country really hasn't watched him, but if you've got a good talent there, and I think they do, what do you surround him with? What position do you put him in? Or do you just press the Iowa button, as I call it, which means let's try to win 13-10 every week? They've been a solid program, but they've also self-imposed a ceiling on themselves that is below that of a championship contender by playing it that way. So that's another one. That first couple of weeks of the year, just you check out the Iowa offense. Is it the kind of offense that makes you go, oh, wow, man, that South Dakota State quarterback, they've revolutionized things there? Or is it same old Iowa, and then you yawn, and then you turn the channel?
Yeah, I like Mark Gronowski. It'll be interesting what type of offense, what type of fit that's going to be. He's been a great player at South Dakota State. Josh Pate is on tonight. A couple more I'll let you run. Scott Frost, former Husker coach, now at UCF. He made the statement today. They asked him, what'd you learn at Nebraska? His quote, don't take the wrong job. What should Husker fans think of that?
Well, I think probably the animus is very mutual between those two parties. I mean, look, if Nebraska wanted to go real low, I think they can air some dirty laundry of their own. I think they could put out some negative headlines of their own. That's one way to look at it. I think the other thing that I just immediately thought when I heard him say that is I'm all for transparency. I am a person who wishes coaches just spoke their mind more often. And so, in the interest of not being a hypocrite, when a guy does that, I try not to fly off the handle. I try not to be like some other guys I saw today saying, did he really just say that? How could he say that? Well, he said it because that's the way he feels. It doesn't really matter whether you feel the same way. I'm speaking as myself now. It doesn't really matter if I feel the same way as he does or not. At least I appreciate that he spoke his heart. Now, a Nebraska fan may look at that and say, oh, really? You think you took the wrong job? Well, let me tell you how we feel on our side, and I completely get that as well. But media days has become so monotonous and so bullet point, like PR committee approved type stuff. At least you got some authenticity from him.
All right. Ryan Day gets a national title and now tries to come back this year. How would you describe Ryan Day's season and what's expected?
Yeah, I was up there or down there relative to where you are about a month and a half ago, and sat with him most of the day, and he kept on talking about the equity, sort of the benefit of doubt that you get from winning a national title. But I look at it and I'm like, your biggest job is to beat Michigan. And he gets that. The head coach at Ohio State has, in this order, his duties. Beat Michigan, and then win the Big Ten, win the national title. That's pretty much the only place that exists. I think most other places in college sports have shifted over to your primary goal is to win a national title. The beauty of rivalries is when they're appreciated properly, they're of the utmost importance in college sports. And so this is the only world in competitive, like athletics, where you can win the top prize in the game and come back and people still say, yeah, but. And the yeah, but with Ryan Day is you've lost to them 4 years in a row. Like, we won't even say their name. That's how much we hate him. You've lost to them 4 years in a row. So we love the national title, but you've still got to do what we hired you to do. That, to me, that's the beauty of college football. I love it, and he gets it, man. He doesn't shy away from that, which I appreciate.
I talked to a lot of people that really like the show. It's Josh Pate's college football show. It's exploded. CBS Sports. Find him on X at Josh Pate CFB. He's getting ready to roll. Season will be here soon. Josh, thanks for hopping on again. I appreciate the time.
I appreciate you having me.
Thanks a lot. Josh Pate on tonight. That's a great show. Josh Pate's college football show on YouTube. Part of CBS Sports. Josh Pate, national college football analyst, on X at Josh Pate CFB. That's a good one right there. Good stuff. as Big 12 Media Days got some headlines, one of which is from your boy, Scott Frost. We're going to expand on that one. Scott Frost was asked what he learned from his time at Nebraska. What'd you learn from your time at Nebraska? You know, quote, don't take the wrong job. Oh boy. We'll have some fun with that. Let's come back first with Dom Izzo. Go to Fargo. North Dakota State play-by-play man. How good are the Bison going to be? What does he think of the Yotes and Jacks? Dom Izzo, live from Fargo next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Celebrate the freedom of summer at Splash City's Infrared White and Blue Sale, June 27th through July 14th. Relax like never before with spa-quality infrared saunas. And bring home the ultimate in comfort with hot tubs and swim spas from Jacuzzi, Sundance, and American Whirlpool. Enjoy 0% financing for 6 years and save up to $5,000 in factory direct rebates on qualifying models. Summer fun, summer savings. Only at Splash City in Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Sioux City.
Splash City, get to it for fun.
Whether you're chasing early morning trout or trolling for walleye at dusk, Fleet Farm's got the fishing gear you need at the best prices guaranteed. Like Zebco's Roam Blue Spin Cast Reel, on sale for $29.99. The Okeechobee Fats Soft Side Gear Bag is now only $19.99. And Reef Runner's Flash Shad Lipless Crankbaits are just $2 for $17. Turn bites into bragging rights with the right gear from Fleet Farm. And check out all our weekly deals at fleetfarm.com.
It's officially patio season in downtown Rapid City, and there's no better place to soak up the sun and the good vibes than at Que Pasa Mexican Cantina. Tacos, tequila, burritos, and beer, and good vibes all day long. Que Pasa is your hometown hangout, and we have a smoking deal for you. Mention you heard Rob on the radio and score a $2.99 house margarita any day, anytime. Limit 1 per customer per day, so don't miss out. Offer available for a limited time. Swing by, sip something special, and celebrate the season at Que Pasa Mexican Cantina.
Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer from Denny Menholt Toyota. Use your phone. It's fast and easy. Pull up our website, click on Value Trade-In, scan your VIN, and tell us about your car. You are on your way to a no-hassle, no-commitment cash offer on your vehicle in under 5 minutes. Bring your vehicle and your Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer to Denny Menholt Toyota and get cash or trade-in credit today. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City.
Eating in Deadwood has so many options thanks to Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort. Wake up with the trusted taste of Starbucks or sit down to a full breakfast at Best Brews. Looking for lunch? Build a wonderfully fresh sandwich from Jersey Mike's. Grab some quick and cheesy goodness from Pizza Hut or pull up a chair in Patty O'Neill's Irish Pub. Need something a little more intimate for dinner? Well, Snitches is all the buzz with an evolving menu of chef-designed culinary creations. There's something for everyone to eat at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort, located on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, we're off and running on a Tuesday. Glad you're a part of the program across the state. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. Josh Pate getting us going tonight. Really enjoy that. Josh Pate's really good. We had him on a long time ago when he had 2,000 followers. Now he's got like 300,000 or something like that. Josh Pate, Josh Pate's college football show talking FBS. Now we go to FCS with Dom Izzo. Speaking of followers, I mean, this guy's lost track. Unbelievable. He's got so many followers. His show is Hot Mike. You watch Hot Mike, right? Covers North Dakota State play-by-play. Dom, welcome back on. How are you?
I'm good, bud. Thanks for the call. Hope you had a good holiday.
I did, and you know, it's kind of tough, that long weekend, Dom. You and I, we got to get back to the grind on Monday. It's like just so tough on us broadcasters. Yeah, right. Okay, let me ask you something here, okay? You've covered play-by-play. You've done high school. You've done college. I had a question of the day. I did radio play-by-play for over 20 years, and I was kind of a homer for the team I was covering. I didn't have one specific school, but I had a couple, and I was kind of a homer. Not crazy, but kind of. Do we want our play-by-play guys to be homers? What do you say?
I would say no. I would. Here in North Dakota, I'm sure I've been called that. I know that by UND fans that think I'm a homer for the Bison, and then Bison fans think I'm not homer enough for them. Just go back to the South Dakota football game at the end of last season, where I was apparently too excited when the Coyotes scored the game-winning touchdown. Personally, Nate, I want your guys to be right down the middle. My favorite broadcast team is, I'm a New York Mets fan, and their broadcast team, Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, and Keith Hernandez, they call it right down the middle, and they call it like it is too. If the Mets stink, they're going to tell you, and I really appreciate that. I love that about the broad. Corey Provis now does the Twins games. He's on my show every Friday, and I love it when he'll call it like it is. If they're not playing well, he'll say it. So that I appreciate as a viewer. And as a broadcaster, that's what I'm trying to do each and every time I'm behind the mic.
I think you are solid, Dom. I would not call you a homer, okay? So you get my endorsement. However, what about Nate Brown? If I'm calling a small-town South Dakota high school football game, can I be a homer?
It's all the eyes of the ball. I mean, if you're doing that and that's your team, then I totally understand. Like, I get the current atmosphere of what we're in, where the broadcaster is employed by the team. Then that's gonna that lends credence to that. In your specific example, if a small then I would say that's what fans are expecting. That for you to rip the refs if a call goes against your team, or to be devastated if the team doesn't win. I think that kind of goes hand in hand.
I just got a list of reactions said it's okay to be a homer, but don't say we did this.
No, I hate
you
that.
Can't do the we.
We or us. I despise both of those.
All right, a little broadcasting lesson. I wanted to get your take on that. Okay, let's go to FCS football. Missouri Valley, we know, is the conference in FCS football. I want to know if you think North Dakota State is going to be at the caliber as they were last year. I think I have this right. They got like 20 contributors back. New QB pretty much. I mean, I know he came in for some plays, but Cole Payton. So 20 players contributing back from last year's team. You would tell me that should be strong.
Yeah, they're going to be quite good again. Cole Payton, as you mentioned, is waited 5 years for the job as the quarterback. He was the highly touted prospect out of Omaha that sat behind Cam Miller and watched Cam Miller become one of the greatest quarterbacks in Bison history. And now Cole's got 1 year and he's got unbelievable athletic ability. I'm really excited to see what he can do as the guy. He's always been a scheme guy, or come in and defenses knew he was going to run the ball, Nate. He can throw it, and that's what the big question is heading into 2025. I think defensively the Bison are going to be really good. That's something we're talking about Bryce Lance, and we should, because he could be another All-American, and their wide receivers are good. But the Bison defense, I understand they lost Cody Heisman in the transfer portal to Virginia Tech, and you don't want to lose defensive linemen. That's the one spot, especially interior defensive linemen, are really, really hard to replace, and that's why I think you see at the FCS level it'd be really hard for teams to go and add in the portal through that. But Toby Anena's back at defensive end. Jackson Dutenheffer from Mandan, North Dakota, is back on the interior. Logan Kopp is a two-time first-team all-league player at linebacker. They have some really impressive linebackers that are eager to get on the field. The secondary, which we thought was the weak spot heading into 2024, now is the most experienced part of the defense with what they have back. defensively, I think the Bison could be very, very good. So long-winded answer, NDSU is the team to beat in my mind until somebody shows me otherwise. They're the favorites in 2025.
Give me your honest read on the Jackrabbits. They lost contributors to Washington State. Dan Jackson, new head coach, brought in players, but people say, well, they're just an unknown because you can't lose that many players to a program, the FBS, and then still be the same thing. So what's your early preseason view of the Jacks?
Yeah, I think that's accurate. The tragic passing of Nate White is a horrendous occurrence, and you feel for that because it looked like he was going to be a contributor on the team. With that, him being not there is just tragic. So it's hard to. You're missing so much, as you mentioned, Nate. You just can't plug in guys. Guys that drop down from FBS to FCS, and I may have talked about this on your show previous, are not All-Americans. Is the reason why they're not playing. And maybe it's playing time, and and maybe they're quite good. But I would caution Jack fans on saying, and I'd say the same to Bison fans all the time as well. There's a reason why the guy's dropping down. To expect him to be an All-American at the FCS level, I think, is a wide stretch. To be a contributor, sure. To be a difference maker, that might be a bridge too far. So I'm not saying the Jacks aren't talented. Chase Mason, another guy's been waiting for the reins there. I really like the wide receiver from Sioux Falls, Landon Delaney. I really like him a lot. That he could be an impact guy as a freshman. Goring's back, who's a good player. Christensen's a monster up front on the Jacks. The defense is a question. They lost a lot there, especially on the back end, especially up front. That's, to me, where what happens to SDSU, the impact losses defensively, how that affects them in 2025.
Dom Izzo joining us, talking Missouri Valley FCS. His show is Hot Mike, covers North Dakota State. Find him on X at Dom Izzo, WDAY. So USD, I'm going to mention the Yotes. They've been a playoff team now. They've been taking big strides. They lose offensive linemen. They lose defensive linemen. They lose linebackers. They have a quarterback who's very experienced and good, Aiden Bauman. Does he save the Yotes?
Oh, you have to wonder. He's thinking, I decided to come back in December, and then 4 offensive linemen are gone. That's not what he signed up for 2025, and with a new coach, because I think it's still kind of murky on how Travis Johansson became the head coach. That might be a story for another time on Bob Nielsen's end in Vermillion. But again, USD is coming in with a ton of cash. Hey, Nate, they beat the Bison in the regular season 2 years in a row. So there's something to be said about that. They come up here in Fargo at the end of September. I think it's the conference opener for both teams, which is a heck of a way to start league play at the end of September. But they lost so much. I know Charles Pierre Jr.'s back, who's really talented, and they've recruited well. But to lose Mike Heath-Grace, the offensive lineman you mentioned that left, that's tough. Really, I mean, only NDSU, James Madison at its height of FCS, the Jacks have shown that they have that kind of depth to lose guys and step in with really good caliber FCS players. I'm really interested. The opener with Iowa State is tough. That's going to be a heck of a way to start the Johansson era in Vermillion, and then you have the Bison at the end of that 4-game stretch to start the season. So word's out. USD is still going to be good. I don't know about as semifinal good as they were last year.
Dom, I want to ask you about 5 years from now, and I've talked to people in the FCS about this. With college sports changing, I believe you're going to have the Power League. They're going to do their own thing. Those are the top 40 programs, 50, whatever you want to say, that have $20.5 million to revenue share in this big change that's coming. Is North Dakota State, South Dakota State, USD going to be in the same division as all of these other schools that aren't in that Power League? Meaning FCS is going to, the best of the best in the FCS will be with the group of 5 in 5 years.
Yeah, I think there's momentum towards that. I was always cautioned against it because I thought that the powers that be would never mess with the NCAA basketball tournament, but I think everything's on the table now. I really believe that. So to predict anything 5 years in college athletics probably is just is an ill choice to do. But
I'm bold.
I would think NDSU has always said we want to be at that second level. We want to be at that second level. I think the Jackrabbits are in lockstep with the Bison. Anything NDSU does, SDSU is going to do. I think you could see that with the House settlement. I think that was really reflective on how each of them, on how their thought process got to where they were with that. So we're always freaking out. I am too, to see now Missouri State, Nate, as an FBS school, and Jacksonville State, and Sam Houston, and Liberty, and James Madison, all schools the Bison at Coastal Carolina, all schools the Bison have beaten in this run, that I think water will reach its level, that you could have a really fun 32-team playoff in that division with the Mountain West and the MAC and Conference USA and the top, I would say, 15 programs in FCS football. Let's go. I would be all for that. Is it going to happen? I don't know. That's it seems every day the Power Four get further away from everybody else. Yeah. And that, to me, seems like this could happen sooner than later.
I would love that. I think it would be fun for fans in this part of the country. That combination of teams, and I think it's just might be a money factor down the road for the Wyomings of the world, saying, what are we trying to do? We'll see.
Well, what's similar between North Dakota State and Murray State right now? Nothing.
Right.
What's similar between South Dakota State and Indiana State? Nothing. They're not even the same ballpark on what they spend for their athletic departments. That's why the sooner that happens, the better for everybody, in my mind.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I would. Dom Izzo on tonight talking FCS, North Dakota State, a preseason favorite in the Missouri Valley. His show is Hot Mike. Always do great, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, bud. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Dom Izzo tonight on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. He is the North Dakota State and Hot Mike host. WDAY. Find him on X at Dom Izzo, WDAY. Follow him there. Good show. Hot Mike out of Fargo. On the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. Remember, the best buffet, everyone's favorite buffet, is the Pizza Ranch. Fried chicken, pizza, cactus spread, it's all there. East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Brandon location, 2 locations in Rapid City. The Pizza Ranch, locally owned and operated, home of everyone's favorite buffet tonight. All right. He didn't want to be a homer. He's a play-by-play guy. He didn't want to be a homer. That's fine. He's pro. He's a professional. It's fine. I was a homer when I first started doing high school sports. I was a homer, and people really enjoyed the homerism. They really enjoyed it. It's entertaining for the hometown fans. Now, it's probably annoying for the away team fans. So how do you want your play-by-play announcers? You want them to get more excited for the hometown teams? I'm talking like high school games, for example. Are we thinking high school announcers here in South Dakota should not be homers for their hometown teams like Yankton or Huron or whatever, Mitchell? You guys are homers in Mitchell, I'll tell you. But Pierre, I mean, you guys, do we expect them to be homers? That's my question of the day, okay? 89% have responded. A ton of votes here. 89% say it's fine for South Dakota play-by-play announcers to be homers. 89% like the homers. Let's see. Listener text. I think most fans want their sports play-by-play announcers to be true, honest, and funny. True, honest, and funny. Could you describe me that way 20 years ago? Maybe. Let's come back with something that I never thought I'd discuss on this show, but it got my attention. I had a friend of mine who did something over the 4th of July weekend. I guess you could call this a sporting activity. I wouldn't do it in a million years, but I'm going to ask you if you would next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the...
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Santa came early. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July event is so great, even Santa's shocked to the savings. Get 20% off plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. That means no payments till 2027. Renewals Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Santa's not waiting till December to get new windows and doors. Neither should you. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Heat up your summer at the Beat the Heat Pickleball Tournament, July 25th through 27th at the Box Elder Events Center. Whether you're crushing the competition or just in it for the fun, this high-energy 3-day showdown has something for everyone. Singles on Friday, doubles on Saturday, and co-ed action on Sunday. It's only $40 for one division or $60 for two. Beat the Heat Pickleball Tournament. Spots are filling fast. Rally your crew and register now at thebox.live.
Remember when life was simple? Nope, me neither. The summer sun may feel great to us, but summer heat takes its toll on your vehicle. Don't risk your family's vacation fun by ignoring vehicle maintenance. When it comes to your vehicle maintenance or repair, keeping it simple is easy. The ASE certified technicians at Al's D&I can make sure your car is in top running condition. Maintenance now or fix it later. Most vehicles, most years, and most countries. Al's D&I can fix them. Check in at Al's D&I on Sturgis Road and online at alsdniautorepair.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio, the Nate Brown Show. Glad to have you on board. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Yes, getting set for the second hour tonight. Great first hour with the guest lineup. Josh Pate joined us, college football national analyst from the Josh Pate College Football Show. Is really good. Dom Izzo moments ago from Fargo talking FCS. A lot to get to tonight. What's on tap on the Nate Brown Show? Let's look. Brian Noe is in. It's Tuesday with Noe. Fox Sports Radio national host Brian Noe is on tap. Zach Borg is on. Big news with Zach Borg, the Sioux Falls TV sports broadcaster. He's departing Dakota News Now, and I've got some thoughts on that coming up. Zach Borg straight ahead joining us talking about that decision. What's on tap on the Nate Brown Show brought to you by the new Campfire Bar. Patio's open. 20 local brews on tap at the Campfire Bar right inside Mr. Liquor 2. They got the best of both worlds. South Dakota's best and biggest liquor store at the Campfire Bar inside. Live sports on off Catron Boulevard. What's on tap? Brought to you by the new Campfire Bar at Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron Boulevard. Great summer headquarters. Okay, speaking of summer, man, I thought I was just having a nice little 4th of July weekend, you know. Toured around, did that whole thing, South Dakota Tourist. I played that card and had a good time. And then I see I'm falling short. I'm falling short in life. One of my friends posts a picture of his 4th of July weekend. And would you call this a sporting activity? I'm bringing it into the show tonight. It's an interesting conversation. He went skydiving. I didn't expect this from this guy. He went skydiving, said, I'm going skydiving, jumping out at 18,000 feet. And I'm sitting here barbecuing on Saturday. Little easier life choice for me, but that's pretty bold, and I wanted to bring it into the show today. I don't know what you did over the 4th of July weekend, but one of my friends went skydiving. That's a sporting activity, right? I mean, you want to talk about risky, and, I mean, you got to know what you're doing there. You got to know what you're doing. So I'm going to ask this question as we start the second hour. Number one, is anybody listening to the Nate Brown Show tonight that has gone skydiving? So that's one question I want. Have you gone skydiving? I'm interested to see how bold my audience is, or if you're like me, barbecuing instead. But skydiving, I want to know if you've done it. And then I want to know, would you do it? Would you do it? And I'm not even going to ramp this up because I would not do it. I would not do it. I'm just, as I've gotten older, what have I become, soft? Have I become soft, or have I become smarter? My brain has finally developed in my 40s. Took a long time, but you may say it hasn't. That's okay. I want to tell you, I would not skydive. Would you? And then I'm going to ramp this up. How about if somebody like paid you to do it? Because I think most of my audience, I think most of you would say you would not skydive like my buddy just did over the weekend. He skydived. And, I mean, it was just like an everyday occurrence. Hey, I'm going to go skydiving. I don't think this guy's done it a lot. I haven't seen it. I'm going to go skydive, jump out at 18,000 feet. And it's like, how could I just slip through my weekend? And I was just having a nice weekend, and here's a guy skydiving, taking the extreme sport to another level. If I paid you $10,000, would you skydive? If someone paid you $10,000, how about $10,000? I threw that out to Matt Kearney. I think he said he'd need $100,000. Nobody's going to pay you $100,000. $10,000 good enough in South Dakota to make you skydive? Now, a little story. I don't want to scare you. My cousin, back in the day, this was a long time ago, but my cousin, he's older, he went skydiving. Parachute opened late. Plowed up a little ground. Never did quite look the same. No, he was fine. I'm just telling you, he was fine, but a little rough. And he never did it again. I will say that. He said, that was fun. I'll take a rain check. See ya. So I got that story, and then I got my buddy going skydiving 18,000 feet over the weekend, and I thought, who would skydive here on the Nate Brown Show? Would you skydive if someone paid you actually $10,000? Maybe, I mean, a lot of people said, oh, yeah, I'd do that. Let's see this listener response here on X. Also on the text line, if you want in there. If you got time to let me know, I'd appreciate that. 605-720-1067. How bold are you? I want some honesty tonight. Would you skydive? Would you skydive? 72% of the audience has responded, yes, I'm totally in for $10,000. 28% just couldn't do it. So where do you think I'm at? $10,000? It's a nice chunk. Take a little vacation with that. Take a nice vacation. I would not do it. I just couldn't do it. Too much risk. But again, I'm a guy that, doesn't take too many risks outside of sports betting. Anyway, that's about as risky as I get. Listener text coming in. I can barely fly in planes. Well, you probably wouldn't want to jump out of one then. Listener text coming in. For $10,000, I would make myself do it. For $10,000? Oh, I don't think you could. How about my buddy? He did it just for fun. Let alone $10,000. 72% of you say you would do it for $10K. That's pretty bold. I would not. Congratulations to my friend who made a 4th of July weekend extreme sport reference on the Nate Brown Show, the skydive. I never thought I'd see coming, and you'll never see me do it. I will never do it. Never say never, except for skydiving. Coming right back, there was a comment made at Big 12 Media Days today. Why would you care about this? It was from your guy, Scott Frost. What did Scott Frost say about his time at Nebraska? We'll start there, and my thoughts on the current landscape of South Dakota sports media coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and Steel. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their lawn care. At participating stores.
Yeah, can I get the taco burger value combo? That's a value? I know it's a taco and a burger, but come on. Yeah, I can find a better value right across the street. No, not at the bait shop, at the gas station. I can get a South Dakota Lottery scratch game for as little as $1. You can actually win thousands of dollars. Almost enough to eat here.
Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly.
There's summer, and then there's Murphy's in the summer. Nothing beats it. The food, the drinks, the atmosphere. Whether you're soaking up sunshine on the patio or hanging inside with friends, Murphy's brings the good vibes all season long. Amazing food, cold beers, summer cocktails, live music on the patio, a crew that treats you right, and yes, even a late-night menu every Friday and Saturday night. When you're thinking summer in Rapid City, there's only one move, Murphy's. Visit murphyspubandgrill.com. Murphy's, a Rapid City icon.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org. We're talking with Britt Wickett at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for an Elevate Performance Health Minute. Britt, one of the injuries we hear a lot about in sports, an ACL tear. You can't prevent all injuries, but good sports performance training could help.
Yeah, Nate, one of the things that a lot of good sports performance training focuses on is trying to not only prepare athletes for the field of sport, but also try to mitigate their risk to sustain an injury. Unfortunately, things happen in sport. If anybody ever does experience an ACL tear that results in needing surgery to fix that, it's important to have a therapist on your side who can help them through prehab, rehab, and then return to sport. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes a long time to get back to the field of sport, but it's not impossible to do it all by any means. So just having that end goal in mind can be really beneficial for the rehab process.
When it comes to ACLs and sports performance training and treatment, get started at elevateperformancesd.com.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
It is your sports, your show, the Nate Brown Show across South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show from high school to college to the pros. Trying to get you covered here. If you missed some of the show, Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. We have some great guests. You can't catch everybody all the time. We get it. So go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Search the Nate Brown Show where you get your podcast. We're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, really all the platforms. So search the Nate Brown Show, and you've got this show on demand. We are live, second hour, ready to go. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. A reminder, you can stream us on X if you're on the X app. At Nate Brown Show. Follow us and watch the show live. At Nate Brown Show. Welcome in across the state there on X. At Nate Brown Show, and YouTube channel is live right now. The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to the channel. You've got every show live and archived. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Zach Borg's coming up, sports broadcaster. Sioux Falls made a big announcement today. I'm going to offer some thoughts on kind of just what I think of this, and wish our best to Zach Borg. He departs Dakota News Now after spending a long time covering South Dakota sports. Did a great job. Zach Borg coming up. His thoughts on his announcement today, leaving Dakota News Now, sports anchor. And Brian Nose coming in, national radio host from Fox Sports Radio. His show is Countdown. Here on the weekends on Fox Sports Radio, one of our favorites. It's a Tuesday with the No Show, Brian No. Big 12 Media Days. Let's go there for a little update. There was a headline that came out. It's relevant to this area. UCF head coach Scott Frost met the media today. Now, let me give you a little breakdown of my thoughts on Scott Frost, okay? I haven't been really, upset or anything like this with Scott Frost. I don't bleed Husker red. I think the Huskers are really interesting. I love the fan base and the passion. Want to experience the Husker fans and the tailgating and the whole thing. It's a blast. So I'm not a Husker hater, is what I'm telling you. But you can't say I'm a Husker fan, because I can't get into and say I was there for this and there for that and all of that stuff. Okay, I'm not an alum. All of that stuff. I know guys who are alums, season ticket holders still, and the whole thing. I appreciate what Nebraska is for college football. Respect it a lot. There's a lot of Husker haters. What is it with you guys? We'll do that another day. You can't be a Husker hater. What do you hate about the Huskers? Not talking to you Iowa fans, but so I don't hate the Huskers. I don't have this love-hate relationship with Scott Frost. When he got hired by Nebraska, I thought it was going to work out really well, because I was told by a guy who was close to the Oregon program. This was years ago. Why is Oregon in this? He was the offensive coordinator for Oregon when they made that run, right? They had some great teams up there. And I was told by a guy who was close with the Oregon program when Scott Frost was going, he said, he is the real deal. That was the quote. Scott Frost is the real deal. Turns out he goes to Nebraska, and I thought, what a fit. Coming home, fans love him. He's going to revive the Nebraska program. People have been upset by this. He's going to get this done. So I thought it was great, and I think many of you did. But it did not work out, and there was all sorts of stories saying Scott wasn't dialed in, wasn't putting in the work. I mean, all sorts of these reports. So you want to say whatever rumors you heard, there was plenty of rumors. Folks in Nebraska got pretty upset with Scott Frost. He couldn't get over the top, and it just didn't work out at all. I mean, it was a bad chapter of Nebraska football in the continued saga of the decline. He was supposed to revive the program. He continued the decline. And so Scott Frost gets fired. We all know the history there. Well, Scott Frost was asked today, now is at UCF. He's back at UCF where he had success there before. He was asked, what did you learn from your time at Nebraska? So my deal is I think he would say, yeah, I learned there was, I had to do a better job doing this, had to do a better job doing that, right? How could he be the real deal at Oregon, offensive coordinator, success at UCF, and then go to Nebraska and it just flopped? So what happened there? Did he learn something at Nebraska? Here's Scott Frost's quote today. What I learned from my time at Nebraska, quote, don't take the wrong job. He continued, I said I wouldn't leave UCF unless it was someplace you could win a national championship. I got tugged in a direction to try and help my alma mater, and I didn't really want to do it. Thanks, Scott. He continued, it wasn't a good move. I'm lucky to get back to a place where I was a lot happier. So Scott, I don't like, it sounds like he's hitting the Husker fans for the criticisms and, I got tugged in a direction to help my alma mater. I didn't really want to do it. I'm lucky to get back to UCF where I was a lot happier. Like it was just the Husker fans treated him terribly, and Nebraska don't take the wrong job as a bad job. I got to tell you, I'm just looking at it from the outside. I remember the time when Scott Frost was there. He got a long leash. You Husker fans gave him a long leash. There was a lot of grace. He got so many excuses just because he was a Husker legend. So he didn't get the same treatment. You guys are going to kick Matt Rule out the door if he wins 5 games this year. So Scott couldn't get over the top at all. Couldn't have a winning season. I mean, it was a mess. Yet it was the wrong job. I was a lot happier at UCF. I didn't really want to do it. Well, we kind of could tell that, frankly. The way you were doing a job in Nebraska, we could kind of tell that. So I didn't like the look. I didn't like the comment. Husker fans gave him a lot of grace, gave him a lot of time, didn't hammer him too much until it started just continuing to decline. So I think he acts like Nebraska fans this, Nebraska was that. I don't like guys that don't say, I could have done a better job doing this and this and this. He says Nebraska was the wrong job. What do you mean? With all the money, all the funds, all the fan support, all the grace, all the support that you got, even when you were losing? Yeah, things got a little wound up there towards the end. But it would have happened a lot quicker with somebody else. Scott Frost, a little hit on Nebraska. I didn't like it. Coming right back with Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio national host, coming up next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Santa came early. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July event is so great, even Santa's shocked to the savings. Get 20% off plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. That means no payments till 2027. Renewals Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Santa's not waiting till December to get new windows and doors. Neither should you. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Club Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
What are you doing?
Just getting in the holiday spirit.
Isn't it a little early for jingle bells and Christmas in general?
It's never too early for Christmas. But Renewal by Anderson's Christmas in July sale just got me in the mood.
A window sale started all of this?
It's not just any window sale. It's Renewal by Anderson.
Okay, settle down. I'll get the ladder and we'll get started hanging the lights.
Renewal by Anderson's Christmas in July sale. 20% off every window and door. No money, no payment, and no interest for 18 months with approved credit. This means no payments till 2027. Hurry, the holiday savings end August 15th. Hassle-free, energy-efficient, low-maintenance windows with a professional fit. Renewal by Anderson uses Fibrex windows, keeping your home cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter, and reduces your energy bill. They do windows. They're the experts. No subcontractors. For a free in-home estimate and a perfect fit, go to RBARapidCity.com. That's RBARapidCity.com. Renewal by Anderson, when only the best will do.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
It is the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you found us. Thanks for spending some time with us. Great guest lineup tonight. The Nate Brown Show is live. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. Second hour features Brian No. The Tuesday with the No Show. Yes, Fox Sports Radio national host. The show is Countdown. He is on X. Find him at the No Show. Interact with him. Have a good time, right? Question of the day. Wait, I got some reaction here. I said Scott Frost is acting like the victim today. He's saying Nebraska was the wrong job. That's what he learned about his time in Nebraska. He's the victim. Come on, Scott. Listener text coming in. Husker fans are the ones that are soft. Hey, take it easy. I disagray. Scott's a little soft today. Question of the day. Would you skydive? I had a friend, 4th of July weekend activity was the extreme sport of skydiving. 18,000 feet, he jumped out of a plane. Just acted like nothing. Here I am just barbecuing burgers. Would you skydive? Listener text here. Skydive is from a listener. Skydiving's not a cheap thing, so if someone was paying the freight, I would try it. Gravity wins no matter what. What's that supposed to mean? Gravity wins no matter what. You want to land with gravity nice and easy, right? There's a difference between gravity on this scenario. Let's ask Brian No. He's an extreme sport guy, I bet. Brian No is on tonight. Brian, how would you handle skydiving?
I have checked it off my list, Nate Brown. I have gone skydiving before. I was doing radio in New York at the time, and they had this deal with the Make-A-Wish people, and you would skydive and try to raise money for the people. And so, yeah, I did it, and it was fun. The free fall is awesome, but then, Nate, the pain kicked in when the chute was pulled because it's always a tandem jump. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just me or if it was the tag team of us, but as soon as the chute was pulled, it was nothing. I don't think I had blood flowing from my legs down to my upper legs down to the rest of my legs. It was incredibly tight. It was. I don't know if anybody talks about that, if it's common, but it sure happened to me, man. It was crazy when that chute was pulled.
Okay, so you went skydiving. You said it was a thrill, but I haven't heard you say, I'm going to do it again.
Oh, I'd do it again for sure. I would definitely do it again. It was just they don't teach you stuff, Nate. You just kind of jump. And then I thought, I see these, like you go to a Broncos game, right, Nate? And you see the guy that parachutes in and just lands on the 50-yard line and gives them the game ball. For whatever reason, I thought we were just going to land on our feet. And that's not what you do at all. You just kind of sit down. So I noticed, real quickly, I'm like, oh, we're not landing on our feet. Okay, I better not do that. I'm going to break both ankles here. I had no idea. They never told me.
Very interesting. I did not know you skydived. I found him. Brian Noe. Leave it to Brian Noe, the skydiver. I said I would never do it, Brian. So credit to you. I would never skydive. 74% of my audience says they would if they were paid $10,000.
Wow, they got to get paid 10 G's to do it.
Yeah.
No, it's fun, man. I would do it. I would encourage you to do it. If you're dead set against it, it's fine. You probably have your reasons for it, but
yeah,
I had a great time with it for sure.
My reasons are I want to live. Anyway, all right. Let's get to this. I've got something here. Major League Baseball had a big weekend. 4th of July weekend, so the thing going is Major League Baseball. MLB TV did a free weekend, so you could get every game. They had record viewership, highest viewership of the 4th of July weekend for MLB.TV in history. So I'm saying, okay, baseball has some things going. Then I read this story from Forbes, and Maury Brown, a sports writer for Forbes, saying there's probably going to be a lockout coming in 2027 because they have this CBA. And fans hate to hear this. Owners arguing with players, owners arguing with owners. But here's the thing they're trying to look at, a salary cap. So Maury Brown says if it gets really serious and they miss a season, they miss an entire season, that might get us to a salary cap. Would you trade that off?
Wow, it's a great question, Nate, because lockouts never go well. As soon as you give your audience, if you plant the seed of hey, you know what? Life goes on. If you don't have baseball day in and day out, life doesn't just end, Tuesday becomes Wednesday, and so forth and so on. So you're planting the seed that you can do other things instead of just enjoying baseball, and maybe you establish more habits and different patterns and things like that. And then when baseball rolls back around, you're like, you know what? I've got other stuff to do. So lockouts never go well, but man, they've needed a salary cap for so long. Nate, just look at what the NFL does. That's one of the reasons the NFL is so popular, is because they can legitimately sell their fans hope. They do the best job of selling hope. Where if you had a rough season, look at the Washington Commanders. They went from 4-13 to the NFC Championship game in 1 year. And I know you can't find quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels in every single draft, but it's possible to have that type of turnaround. It's happened many times in the NFL. And that's why you can legitimately be hopeful as a fan. And a lot of that stems from the salary cap and the draft and the way they're just pushing teams toward the middle. And that has worked out. Parity has been a huge, huge asset for the NFL. So I don't know why these other leagues don't try to mimic that, especially when your season is 162 games and you can't sell hope. It's like, if I'm an A's fan, why am I watching? We have no chance to do anything of great note. So, yeah, I think a salary cap is desperately needed. And, man, Nate, that's a great question. I would make the hard choice.
You would?
If I had to sacrifice a season, I would absolutely do it to get a salary cap. I think baseball needs it desperately.
Okay, I couldn't quite square it if I would sacrifice a season for it. Because they're saying it's going to get so serious on the negotiations, owners are arguing with owners, players are going to argue with owners, that they might actually have a lockout. It might take out a 2027 season. Will that get us to a salary cap? Here's what the players are going to say. Well, if there's a cap on our earnings, we need a salary floor. So it's going to have to work both ways. I mean, you got to have some organizations that pay a certain amount as well.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's totally fair, because you get so many of these cheap organizations like the Pirates. Like Skeens, he gave up no runs again and loses 1-0 in his most recent start. It's just an embarrassment what the Pirates are doing, not surrounding Skeens with enough talent where they can be a legitimate team. How many times have you seen that in baseball? A lot. So, yeah, it's not just a cap, it's a floor that is needed because some of these teams are just an embarrassment to the league, and they're not putting money back into the product. So you should have to do that as a bare minimum. So I like both. I would love to be able to get this done without sacrificing a season. I hate, from the record standpoint, from the players' earnings standpoint, there are a lot of things that I just hate about lockouts, and especially the fans not having a product. It's a lose-lose, but, man, I think you got to get a salary cap because the haves and the have-nots, when the season is that long, you just can't have that and be a league that a ton of fans, like 30 fan bases around the league, are interested and hopeful. It doesn't exist in baseball.
Yeah, half of the seasons are over right now. It's July 8th. I mean, maybe even more than half. I mean, it's a lot of teams that know they're out right now. Brian Noe is on tonight, Fox Sports Radio national host. The show is Countdown. Hey, I want to ask you about this Summer League, NBA. Like, people are like, oh, come on. It's NBA Summer League. I just saw this. Las Vegas, Thursday night. Bronny James against Cooper Flagg. The tickets, most expensive ever. $650 in the lower bowl to $2,500 courtside. You got to go watch it. Bronny, Cooper Flagg, most expensive ticket ever.
Man, oh man, Nate! I'm here in Vegas. I'm going to go check out some summer league action, but I didn't realize we're talking premium bucks over here for Bronny and Cooper Flagg. I don't know if I'll see that one. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But hey, man, it's good for the league. There's excitement. People are excited about watching preseason basketball. And paying top dollar to go see the number one pick and LeBron's son. Hey, it's great for the NBA. So if you got enough fans willing to pay that type of price, it's a win-win for the NBA. That's a great thing.
Okay, I want you to go Upper Bowl at the Thomas and Mack Center. Just go Upper Bowl Thursday night. I want to see Brian Noe at the Bronny James Cooper Flagg game. We'll see.
Some binoculars. It's a bad thing if you're that high and you're like, I can't tell if it's Bronny or Cooper Flagg. That's when you know your seats are way too high up there, Nate.
Great call. By the way, one NFL hitter with Brian Noe. We like talking ball. So former Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins came out and said when the Falcons drafted Michael Penix, he felt misled. Did the Falcons do Kirk dirty?
Absolutely they did. And listen, it's a business, so this sort of thing can happen. I think the Falcons were dumb for doing both. That's been my whole thing is if you're going to draft Michael Penix Jr., great. Just don't sign Kirk to a $100 million contract also. Like, do one or the other. If you're going to sign Kirk, why are you drafting Penix? If you're drafting Penix, why are you signing Kirk? I don't understand why you did both. So, yeah, I think that's totally fair. If you're Kirk, you're thinking, all right, this is my new chance. It's a fresh start. Atlanta Falcons, here we go. And with the 9th overall pick, I think that's what it was, Michael Penix Jr., Kirk's got to be like, what is going on here? He handled it very professionally, but and think about that. That's his first year there, Nate.
Yeah,
it's one thing for Aaron Rodgers to hear the Packers draft Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers was there for a long time, like over a decade. And Kirk, that's his very first year, his very first offseason, and they draft Penix with the top 10 pick. That is unbelievable. So, yeah, I think he's totally in the right to feel that he was misled.
Brian Noe says it's a bad look. By the way, though, I watched Kirk Cousins live in Denver last year. He's not quite what he was.
Yeah.
He's not quite what he was. So, ultimately, I think the Falcons made the right call, but they did bring in Kirk and paid him a lot of money, and then they draft Penix. I don't get that one. All right, Brian Noe is on tonight. Fox Sports Radio. Listen to him. His show is Countdown. You're always great, man. Thanks for the time.
Always, Nate. Yes, and get on those summer league bets. You know, the Grizzlies. A little tip over here. Grizzlies are scoring a lot of points, Nate. Watch their team total overs over there. You might be able to make a buck or two.
Okay, you are good at that. I'll stay away from summer league for now. Brian Noe, the show is Countdown. Fox Sports Radio, national host on the Nate Brown Show. Good to have him. We try and get him as much as we can. Find him on X at The Noe Show. Brian Noe in tonight on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. South Dakota Sports Talk Show continues with a big announcement from Sioux Falls broadcaster Zach Borg. He's covered great sports, college, high school, put in a lot of work. He's departing the South Dakota TV scene for now. We'll talk to Zach and ask him why next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
Tired of all the bugs in your yard? Enjoy your backyard again with Cutter Backyard, ready to spray bug control at Menards. It kills mosquitoes, fleas, ticks, and other insects fast, controlling them for up to 12 weeks. A 32-ounce ready-to-spray container covers up to 5,000 square feet and is on sale now through July 13th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, I'm Tim Wrench, and I'm seeking personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Building your Black Hills dream? Builder's First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs has you covered. Top quality materials, product expertise, all your building needs in one place for materials and services. Just stop in or start at BLDR.com. That's BLDR.com. Builder's First Source. Build it.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold I-CAR certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad to have you on board tonight. Thanks for making this show possible. We appreciate that across the state on Fox Sports Radio. Stream us on X at Nate Brown Show. You just heard that on X. You can watch us live each afternoon on X at Nate Brown Show. Well, I appreciated the work Zach Borg's done. I think he's done a nice job. A lot of work. People think TV is glitz and glamour. They know the radio side is just a bunch of doofuses, but they think that TV is glitz and glamour. But he's put in a lot of work, man. Sports broadcaster from Sioux Falls. Been on Dakota News Now. And departing. Just made that announcement today. Departing from the TV sports business for now. Zach, welcome in. I wanted to get you on, and I just started with this. I started my career at NBC4, Washington, D.C. Way back in the day, I was a production assistant. I just did a bunch of the work behind the scenes and did all this stuff. And I saw even sports guys there. We're talking sports directors there in the D.C. market, shooting highlights, doing interviews, going back, editing, putting it together, anchoring, coming back for the 10 o'clock, doing it again. It's a lot of work. It's a grind. Was that part of the reason here why you're stepping away?
Yeah, a little bit of that. I was going to say production people have a lot of the grind. No question there. I've been doing that grind now for almost 20 years. I started in 2006 up in Fargo, and it's been almost pretty continuous. I had about 6-month period where I was out of work, but I never minded the grind so much. It's a bargain. You're happy. It's easier to make with yourself when you're younger, and maybe you're wanting to hop markets or you don't have a family. But I am getting a little older. I'm not the spring chicken I may look like in my photo, but it does wear on you a little bit. But that grind does give you a little adrenaline too. One of my favorite things, and one of the reasons that kept me out here, was I kind of liked being able to shoot my own video and the small towns and stuff. So those are the parts I'll kind of miss more. Football, Friday night football, where some of that's going on, but ultimately it's the dog days and some of those things that those are on you. And obviously I've kind of been a host that it's family. I'm the more I can't keep doing it at the pace I'm doing it, and it would keep compounding if I did it. It would be taking away my family. That was that's the main end of it issue at the end of the day for me.
Let me make sure I have this. We have a little bit of a bad connection. If you got a better signal, we can try it. But
I'll move around.
let me ask you about this. You said family. I mean, I've done sports media a long time. You try and figure out, hey, how can you get everything done and still have the family time? It's one of those things that's tough. And do you think the current state of sports media, there's really only a couple of you guys? I mean, every company's like they have one or two guys that are trying to do a ton of the work. Is that a factor?
Oh, it's a huge factor. I mean, most sports departments now are two people in a lot of places, especially in South Dakota. When I broke in, a lot of them had three, and even then, that's you're asking them to pick up a lot of load. It's on the weekend. Now, I was pretty fortunate. I did have some help with I had a terrific photographer on the weekends. Mostly, his name was Sam Tastad, who was just terrific over at Dakota News Now, and good friend. And occasionally I had some other help along the way, but he also did news. So his priority was to fill in the news side. So I mean, I'd have to hit, and sometimes I kind of took it as a challenge to try and hit like 3 or 4 games in one span. But I mean, that's I think, and I may have maybe overhit. This is my own personal thing. I was always kind of taught to put in a full day's work, and I felt I kind of owed it to those communities that maybe didn't always get to see themselves on air as much. Obviously, South Dakota State, Augustana, the bigger high schools, the Sioux Falls, they're going to see themselves on air plenty. But I enjoyed going out just as much to a Dakota State or a Mount Marty and stuff like that. So, it's a wide coverage area to get to. You're also trying to pull in stuff, and it's a lot to ask of people. And I'm not going to complain about the pay anymore. I mean, because there are people who do really hard jobs for less, relatively speaking, but it's a lot to ask for a little, and especially when you're trying to support a family.
Yeah.
It's just it's at some point, the dam kind of breaks for, I think, a lot of people.
Zach Borg tonight, sports TV broadcaster, spent a lot of time covering sports, North Dakota, South Dakota. He was at Dakota News Now, departing today, just made his announcement. We wanted to talk about his career. I don't know where TV sports is totally going, but I saw a TV station in Houston, Zach. They don't have a sports guy. They just do sports stuff with their anchors when they need to. Is that kind of where where we're going to be?
It might be. I mean, the funny thing is that he was actually one of the guys who replaced me up in Fargo a few years ago, and he kind of had a pretty good little rise through the ranks. And you're talking about one of the major markets up there. One of the problems that exists with current television is there's just not a lot of local ownership. I know I didn't hear much of it. I was kind of hanging out with my family a little bit as we talk about it, but I know you had Dom on, and his company, the people who own him are Forum Communications. That's a locally owned company up in Fargo. There just aren't many of those. Most of the companies, including the one that owned Dakota News, is called Gray. There's a lot. There's only really a few of these major corporate ownerships, but they own like 80 stations or 60 stations or something like that. And it's just they're just not really. They're kind of run like, it's just basically I'm thinking of the right word here, but you're basically just your numbers on a spreadsheet at that point. And in sports, the common thing, a lot of these consultants and a lot of these groups come in, they say, well, how important are sports? I think a lot of them, they kind of look at it and say, well, you can watch sports on ESPN and you can get all this on-demand stuff, so why do we need to be wasting 3 minutes when you can put more weather and more news in there? And what they failed, and what these consultants and these national corporations just don't get, is the local impact of these teams and places. And I will be fair, Sioux Falls, and I think Rapid City too, because I know Vic Quick, and I've talked a little with him today too. Vic does a great job at KOTA. Places like this, we got good time. Now, did we have enough manpower to really fill that time out? Well, it's getting tougher in that regard. But they just don't realize that these areas, the fandom is huge here. They're not filling a 19,000-seat football stadium to go watch the city council meeting or the Barnett Center to go watch a police briefing. So this community is growing. The appetite for sports is growing, but the media landscape is shrinking, unfortunately. Yeah. And that's pretty sad.
No, I agree with you on that. Last one, I'll let you run. I'm going to be talking to you more, Zach Borgon, tonight. Do you want to still do this sports media thing? You're going to think this through? You're going to take some paid time off? You're going to chill? You're going to relax? Are you going to take a breather? Or are you going to try and do this sports media thing?
I'd still like to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what it's going to be. I kind of want to do some play-by-play. I don't know if I'm ever going to do the TV side of this again because it's just for the reasons I said. Especially the weekends, man. I've been doing weekend sports, and some parts of the weekend sports I really liked because especially the part I'll really start to miss is probably August 30th when we hit college football season.
Yeah.
Or football Fridays. Some of that I'll miss a lot, and maybe I'll worm my way on a sideline here or there if I don't get a position with somebody. But I've spent more of my adult life working on weekends in sports than I have not now in my life, which is just kind of I thought about that today. It's crazy. And, again, that's a bargain you're happy to make when you're young, but it's like just thinking about what I was going to do this weekend with my family is exciting, but it's like, wow, it's kind of weird thinking about that. So that's cool. I mean, that's cool to think about. But, yeah, I do want to be involved. I'm not going anywhere. I know the one reason I hate those goodbye messages are they seem like you're dying. No, I'm still staying. My wife's a South Dakota girl from Howard. We like our life here. If I had wanted to move, I would have moved years ago. So I'm rooted here, and I'd like to stay involved in the South Dakota scene. I'd like to maybe get back into some play-by-play. And if there's a full-time position that kind of fits it, I would love to do it. If it's part-time, we'll see. It's kind of open right now, but
let's,
like I said, right now it's all about family and trying to figure out what's next.
Let's see what's next. We'll keep an eye on it. Congrats on a great career, man. It's a lot of work. People don't get it. TV sports, you guys do a good job, and you put in a lot of time and effort. I respect it. Sports broadcaster from Sioux Falls, part of Dakota News Now, just departed today. Zach Borg, appreciate you, man. Good luck. Let's stay in touch.
Hey, Nate. Well, thank you. You've done a great job. It's good to have this show on simulcasting now in Sioux Falls. We've had it for a while, and appreciate you bringing me on. Hope I'll be staying in touch. And again, to everybody who's listened or watched over the years, appreciate, and I'll stay in touch.
All right. Great to have him. Zach Borg on tonight. Sports TV broadcaster's done a lot of good work on the high school ranks and the college ranks there in Sioux Falls. Coming back with who's hot and who's not. Wrapping it up next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Whether you're chasing early morning trout or trolling for walleye at dusk, Fleet Farm's got the fishing gear you need at the best prices guaranteed. Like Zebco's Rome Blue Spin Cast Reel, on sale for $29.99. The Okeechobee Fat Soft Side Gear Bag is now only $19.99. And Reef Runner's Flash Shad Lipless Crankbaits are just 2 for $17. Turn bites into bragging rights with the right gear from Fleet Farm. And check out all our weekly deals at fleetfarm.com.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 65 tonight under mainly clear skies with a slight chance for isolated thunderstorms. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Slight chance for storms tomorrow, high of 97, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, slight chance of rain showers, lows around 64. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 77 degrees.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Hi, I'm Bill at Wire for USA. If you're looking for internet, TV, security systems, or cell booster systems, why would you look at a company that only gives you one choice for each of these systems? Wire for USA offers it all. Viasat, Hughes, CenturyLink, Dish TV, DirecTV, Wilson Cell Booster Systems, and now Starlink and EchoStar Internet Systems. Starlink and EchoStar are the newest, the fastest, and the strongest satellite internet made. No limit, no contract. Wire for USA has it. Call 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wire for USA for the products and the service. You don't need training wheels with our system. Connect to the future with Wire for USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, let's roll tonight. Who's hot and who's not? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Tonight, the Pizza Ranch. Who's hot category going to go to? It's an easy one. Tomorrow night, Caitlin Clark is back. You know it. You love it. Caitlin Clark back after a couple of weeks out. She's back in the lineup as the Fever take on Golden State. I'll take it. The Caitlin Clark Show is back tomorrow night. Book it. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, I got to go with that Summer League ticket. In Las Vegas, Cooper Flagg is taking on Bronny James Thursday night. The average ticket is over $200 average up in the nosebleeds. Courtside's $2,500. Lower bowl is $650. It's Summer League. I like Cooper Flagg as much as anybody. It's Summer League. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. The podcast going up right now. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid